When I first set my eyes on the 21 steel deck gas lawn mower, I was struck by how solid and no-nonsense it looked sitting in its open box on my garage floor. Heavy-duty stamped steel deck, robust 144 cubic centimeters 4-stroke OHV engine, and large, grippy wheels, it all spoke to a mower built for more than just weekly weed whacking. In an era when much of the market has shifted to battery-powered machines, I was curious, could a traditional gas push mower still deliver that visceral, dependable performance of old without feeling like a relic? After nearly 2 months of daily use across thick spring growth, stubborn patches of crabgrass, and the deep, damp blades of early summer, here's my full, human-to-human take on whether this mower lives up to its promise of power, durability, and ease. Unboxing and first impressions. As soon as I cracked open the box, I appreciated how neatly the components were arranged. The main deck nested face down, wheels tucked into grooves in the foam inserts, and handle tubes clipped securely beside the catcher bag and hardware kit. A pre-filled bottle of engine oil sat waiting in its own labeled slot. Nice touch, as it meant I could get started in minutes rather than running to the store for oil. The stamped steel deck felt reassuringly heavy, and a bright red paint job looked crisp and scratch-free, despite the mower's boxy shipping carton. My first impression was, this mower feels built to last rather than built to advertise. Assembly was surprisingly straightforward, with only a handful of nuts and bolts to fasten the handles together and attach the catcher. I had the mower ready to go in under 15 minutes. All necessary hardware was provided, and the instructions, complete with clear diagrams, took me step by step from oil fill to spark plug check to the first pull of the recoil cord. As someone who's wrestled with ill-fitting parts and vague instructions on cheaper machines, I was relieved to find no missing or mislabeled pieces here. Firing up. Engine performance. With a fresh mix of premium unleaded and the factory-supplied oil, I followed the choke and throttle cues from the manual. On the first pull, the 144 cubic centimeters OHV engine rumbled to life with a satisfying roar. There was no endless yanking or spitting fuel. It was simply a firm tug, a confident snarl, and I was in business. That first burst of power was everything you remember from older gas mowers: instant torque, responsive throttle, and a steady, reassuring hum under the deck. Over the next several mowing sessions, I tested the mower on grass ranging from a manicured fescue lawn to overgrown clover and thick crabgrass. The forced air cooling system kept the engine temperature from climbing, even under heavier loads, and I never experienced any bogging down or stalling. Unlike smaller 120 cubic centimeters engines I've tried in the past, this 144 cubic centimeters unit offered a consistent cut speed regardless of the deck height or grass thickness. Even when I bumped up to the tallest 3.9-inch setting to tackle a week's worth of growth, the mower ate through without hesitation. Cutting deck and maneuverability. The 21-inch steel deck doesn't just look durable, it performs accordingly. I covered wide swaths in fewer passes than my old 19-inch model, and the reinforced edges shrugged off accidental scrapes against concrete edges and hidden rocks. The cut was impressively uniform. I noticed crisp, clean lines along my driveway edge the very first time. Grass clippings fed evenly into the rear bag without clogging, thanks in part to the smooth, powder-coated underside of the deck. Maneuvering the mower was equally gratifying. The 7-inch front wheels and 10-inch rear wheels provided solid traction on slopes and uneven terrain. When I steered around flower beds, the wheels tracked true, and I didn't have to wrestle or tug to change direction. Despite its steel deck, the mower isn't overly heavy. You feel its heft in a reassuring way rather than feeling like you're pushing a tank. The handle height is set for an average user, but at 6'3" I did find myself wishing for a slightly taller grip, an easy fix with aftermarket handle extenders if you're particularly tall. Height adjustment and 3-in-1 versatility. One standout feature is the 6-position height adjustment. A single lever at the deck side raises or lowers all 4 wheels in unison, letting me dial in anything from a neat 1.5-inch shortcut to a forgiving 3.9-inch length for shade areas. No more adjusting each wheel separately and hoping they line up. That convenience alone makes seasonal transitions, crisp shortcuts in late spring, taller setting for the summer drought, both quick and precise. Switching between bagging, mulching, and side discharge is equally tool-free. The clip-on bag snaps in place solidly, and I especially appreciated its 1.4 bushel capacity on wide-open lawns. When I opted for mulching in early summer, I simply slid in the mulch plug and watched as fine clippings disappeared back into the turf, feeding the soil naturally. Side discharge was handy for stray patches at the yard's edge, letting me fling clippings neatly into the border rather than walking back and forth with a rake. Real-world reliability and maintenance. After roughly a dozen mowings, the mower has proven remarkably reliable. It starts on the first or second pull almost every time. No spark plug fouling, no fuel gumming, no odd noises from the drivetrain. In fact, The only maintenance I've needed so far is routine cleaning, hosing off grass buildup under the deck, tightening a loose handle bolt, and topping off engine oil after about 5 hours of runtime. The manufacturer's promise of low maintenance, no belts, no tune-ups beyond spark plug checkups, holds true. Compared to gas mowers with finicky carburetors, this model feels downright carefree. Price and value. At $358.21, this mower sits in a very competitive segment. You'll find less expensive units that skimp on engine displacement or deck quality, and pricier mowers that boast self-propel or electric start but come with plastic decks. Here, you get a full steel deck, a robust 144 cubic centimeters engine, and the 3-in-1 versatility wrapped into a straightforward push mower. Factor in the 2-year warranty. Make sure you register promptly, and the included oil fill and catcher bag. It's hard to beat for the price if you value rugged reliability.